When ready and ready, I will start you like this. Attention, go. Get ready, please.
So it all feels very quiet now, up at the start of the course.
Attention, go.
So you see Jonathan Stimpson on the right of the shot, just getting the boat ready, getting away from the start. He's from Notts, and he won at Notts City. He was 7th in the GB trials, up against a strong American from a strong rowing family, which we'll tell you more about as the race goes on. But just seeing John Graves there struggling a bit of a caught blade at the top of the island, and I think Jonathan Stimpson will be pretty pleased with this start.
On these single sculls, you really do feel everything as you're going down there. Greg, you and I have both been down this course. You victorious, me, I got to the Friday, I think, and then came across one Gwyn baton, and you know, nothing prepares you. That silence and then this sound, brilliant to see these two single sculls.
We'll have a look at it. We've got Jonathan Stimpson here in front of us. You can see what a big man he is, 2 meters tall, 98 kilograms, big strong athlete, put into the GB start program. Let's get him sculling, let's get him sculling well. And here he is going stroke for stroke with John Graves, 29 years old, much smaller man, only 80 kilos from the United States.
Yeah, look at him there in the Nottingham Rowing Club strip. He is sculling well. I suspect he has some input from the Kay family and that dynasty that are so synonymous with what Nottingham do, and just that catch. And I remember Tom Kay actually saying to me very much what James Conkeys was just talking about, almost put the blade in as slowly as you can. He kind of described it. He didn't mean that it was going to be slowly, but it meant it was going to be loose and catched and caught and connected.
And we're seeing that done really quite nicely from Jonathan Stimpson, that he's getting connected nice and loose, and then able to use that big strong back, accelerate the boat and move it through. And he's still stroke for stroke. What a great sculling race. This is what it's all about, being side by side with someone, knowing who's the tougher man, who's going to hang in there, who's got the technique and the efficiency which is going to keep them going, as they're now coming up to 2 minutes into the race, coming down towards the barrier.
And this GB Start programme, it's been so successful. Helen Glover, Sam Townsend, so many have come from it and gone on to do great things. And for John here, John Stimpson, is now a full-time rower, and he's able to be a beneficiary of those start coaches and keep learning. And he's got the opportunity to be against John Graves. And, you know, tell me about the Graves family. I met John's father at the foreign cruise reception. What a dynasty.
Well, it's John's father who had the 3 boys, got the brothers together. They've all gone out, they've raced together, and he's taught them what they know. They love their sculling, they love their rowing, and now here's John, 29 years old, still able to race here at Henley, and coming up against, I guess, the far less experienced Jonathan Stimpson. But Jonathan Stimpson doing a lovely job, taking a look over his right shoulder there, keeping the length, keeping the power, keeping the connection, trying to hang on to the American sculler on the right of our shot there.
And John, really interestingly, saw the 2012 Olympics. James Cracknell, a man you know very well, who have rowed well, saw him, and he inspired him to take up this sport and have a go at it. And some of those opportunities of just having a go, get off the rowing machines. Well, first of all, get on the rowing machines, and then get off the rowing machines and onto the water, because this is an amazing sport to be part of and to try.
And I think they'll be happy to be sculling at this time of day, where the conditions now seem to have got a little bit quieter, actually. And they're now in this quiet phase of the race. And I think the class and experience with John Graves is now helping him as they're looking to move out towards the Forley mark. The water looks that little bit quieter just there in the middle of the course. Now, can Jonathan Stimpson hang in? Can he make any move to come back? Plenty can still happen as we come into the second half, just passing Forley.
Yeah, and I just saw John Stimpson have a good look over his shoulder there. He would know that John Graves is rowing away at the moment. John Graves of Craftsbury Sculling Centre. Just look at the power that he is doing. He's providing, the way he is lifting up that single scull. A little bit of rock on the boat. You know, he's a strong big man, but he is picking it up and lifting that bow ball up each stroke, and that is just moving him away.
We can see the difference to the efficiency and technique and length makes. For me, John Graves gets lovely length, but the boat's high up out of the water. It looks like quite a big boat for an 81 kilo man, but he gets his arms right out straight and leaves them straight. gets that good compression, closing that gap between his thighs and his chest, makes that connection, and then makes the acceleration, moves his body through, and then just quietly finishes it off with his arms. So he's rowing a long stroke, moving the boat a long way per stroke. When we look, just as we see Jonathan Stimpson, he's not necessarily able to close those angles up in quite the same way, being a much bigger man.
Yeah, beautiful. The alpaca wing, it's backwards as I always think about it. They've all changed since I stopped rowing it. Aerodynamics believed to be better that way, and I think for me you get that security when you see the riggers in front of you, but you're putting your hands up there, out there, into nothing, lifting it, and they stay outside the boat for a long time with John Graves there on the left hand side as he just picks up the water. That light loose catch we've been talking about, he's using the American blades there, and we see so often in the national championships competing for the medals, and at the moment he's just pressing away. His boat is going so straight, so cleanly through this Henley water.
And I love what you're saying, Sarah, there, how he leaves the handles outside the boat, that it feels quite scary when you're there and the blades are outside of the boat and getting connected. But if you're not hurrying them back, you're just letting them get connected, then you can apply the force when it really counts, which is actually there through the middle of the stroke. And then the legs and the backs can make maximum effort and maximum efficiency on actually moving the boat forward. So those blades have to go further out, and that's one of those things that just comes with confidence and time. To be right out there, I would say over the front stay, but as we've said, he doesn't have a front stay because of this rigger that we're talking about, which is only connected in behind him. There's no rigger for him to look at, but he's still confident to stick those handles out there, get the blades in, and then leave the boat further per stroke. And that's why he's moving that little bit faster than the much bigger man, Jonathan Stimpson, in the other boat.
And I'm kind of hearing the voice of Harry Mahon in that, Greg, who I know who used to coach you on the Kingston Reach. He was so pedantic. I'm going to use the word pedantic because, hearing a yes from Harry, or a yip from Harry Mahon was just something you dreamt of, because if you got it wrong, you just got this nah, and those strokes where your hands got out, you picked it up at the right time, you got this yip, and you would do anything for that from that man.
You're going to bring back a lot of happy memories and some quite challenging ones for a lot of people who ever coached by Harry Mahon. Great New Zealander who coached me in the single here in 1997. And yeah, you're right, he would be pedantic. He wanted you to be able to pick it up lightly and loosely, make that connection in that first pickup there, and be confident out there where the boat might feel unstable, where you might want to snatch at it. Don't snatch at it. Let the blade swim, and then once the blade swims, then it make it feel like your legs are just shunting, like an engine pressing, not hitting, not pulling, no jarring of the couplings in the rowing stroke. You don't want the couplings in the rowing stroke to jar. You want them to be locked in, so it's a shunt and a smooth press with the legs, the backs, the acceleration, and the finish with the arms. And John Graves is able to do that really quietly now, in control, coming down towards the line.
Yeah, look at that, long and loose. John Stimpson, he'll be proud, I think, of this performance, 7th in the GB Challenge Sculling Trials. He's come out here, he's represented himself really strongly. He will have learned from this, and I think, a real future for him. Someone on the GB Start programme, John Graves, he's gone through to the final. John Stimpson, watch this man.
Fantastic. And there we see it. Great experience, but a win in the Diamond Challenge Cup for John Graves over Jonathan Stimpson.